Within is not a location. The Tracker. This is a story about an Aboriginal tracker crossing the Australian outback with a young traveller who believes home must exist somewhere farther down the trail. By learning to read tracks in the earth without mistaking them for the destination, the traveller discovers that guidance can lead us through the world while quietly teaching us to look where home has always been. The first thing Eli asked was, "How much farther?" Jarra smiled and kept walking. Red earth stretched beneath an enormous Australian sky. Spinifex grass moved in the wind. Cockatoos flashed white between distant trees while the afternoon sun painted everything copper and gold. Eli had hired Jarra, an experienced tracker, to guide him toward an old settlement beyond the ranges. He had been travelling for months. Different towns, different jobs, different teachers, different promises. Somewhere, he believed, there had to be a place where he would finally feel at home. Jarra stopped beside a dry creek bed. "Come here." Eli crouched beside him. "What do you see?" "Sand," Jarra pointed. Eli looked harder. At last he noticed faint marks crossing the creek. "Kangaroo?" Jarra nodded. "You saw nothing because you had already decided what you were looking at," they continued. Jarra noticed broken grass, disturbed stones, feathers caught beneath branches, and impressions so faint Eli could barely see them. "You can really follow something from all that?" "Tracks don't make the animal," Jarra said. "They only point." That evening they camped beneath a ghost gum. Eli stared into the fire. "I've been thinking about what you said." "Dangerous habit," Jarra replied. Eli laughed. Then his face became serious. "I keep searching for the place where everything will finally feel right." Jarra poked the fire. "And has changing places worked?" "For a while." "Then?" "The restlessness comes back." Jarra nodded toward the horizon. "If you believe home is somewhere out there, the horizon can keep you walking forever." "So I should stop travelling?" "I didn't say that." Jarra drew a circle in the dust. "Journey when the journey is given. Stay when staying is given. But don't ask the landscape to give you what it cannot give." Eli watched the circle. "Then where is home?" Jarra touched his chest, then shook his head. "Careful. Even that gesture can confuse you." "What do you mean?" "People hear within and imagine there is a tiny holy room somewhere inside the body." He smiled. "Within is not a location." The words landed strangely. The next morning they resumed walking. By midday, Jarra stopped again. "Your turn." Eli stared at the ground. He found one footprint, then another. He hurried ahead. "I've got it." Several minutes later, the tracks disappeared. Eli searched frantically. "I lost them." Jarra stood quietly behind him. "What happened?" "I followed the prints." "You followed your idea about the prints." Jarra led him back. The trail had turned sharply near a cluster of stones. "You were so eager to arrive that you stopped receiving guidance." Eli sighed. "That sounds familiar." Jarra laughed. "Most people are excellent trackers of what they already believe." They walked until clouds gathered above the ranges. Soon winds swept through the grass and rain began falling across the red earth. The tracks vanished. Eli looked worried. "What do we follow now?" Jarra pointed toward a ridge. "The next thing we are shown." They moved carefully. A break in the clouds revealed the slope. A bird call helped Jarra identify water nearby. A line of trees marked the creek. No single sign gave them the whole journey, only the next step. Eli began to understand. What if guidance works like tracking? "How?" "You don't give me the whole trail. You help me recognize what is here now." Jarra nodded. "And eventually, I learned to recognize it myself." And then, Eli became quiet. He saw something deeper. "Then maybe I help someone else." Jarra smiled. "Now you are learning the tracker's real work." They reached the old settlement near sunset. Eli had imagined he would feel something dramatic when he arrived. Instead, there were several weathered buildings, a water tank, birds settling into trees, and evening light across the hills. "That's it?" he asked. Jarra laughed. "You thought home would have a sign?" Eli laughed too. All those months he had searched through circumstances for a feeling circumstances could not permanently provide. The outer journey had not been useless. It had exposed the direction of his search. He finally understood why every destination eventually disappointed him. He had been seeking home where home was not. The guidance had never been trying merely to deliver him to another place. It had been teaching him how to listen. And perhaps his own purpose was no different. When another traveller became lost, He did not need to become their destination. He could simply help them notice the tracks. The next step, the quiet correction, the direction that turned the mind away from endless searching and toward remembrance. Eli looked across the vast evening country. So the tracker leads people home. Jarra shook his head gently. The tracker remembers that home is already there, and walks with them until they remember too. May we sing, rest and dance our way home together.